Men are fucking done. And at the same time, women at home are saying, where are all the good men?
I generally feel like men don't realize how far they can get with.
Men between the ages of 18 and 29 are not only single, but they're not actively looking for a partner.
You wonder why the divorce rate's so high? You wonder why there's so many women in their 20s, 30s, 40s that are not in relationships or not getting married just because they plain don't want to?
Why men have given up on women.
I don't think men like women anymore. I don't think that men desire us women anymore.
Why are more men deciding that dating and marriage simply aren't worth the cost anymore? And why are women only now beginning to understand that decision? As relationship expectations continue to change, more men are questioning whether the financial, emotional, and personal costs of commitment still justify the rewards. For some, singlehood offers greater freedom, stability, and control over their lives. So, is quitting dating really a loss, or a rational response to a system that no longer feels balanced?
I owe the men of the world an apology. Let me explain before you come in my comments. I always think to myself, why don't men just approach women? Why? It's not that hard. Just say hi. Just say hi. Your hair is pretty. It's not that hard, right? Well, last night I learned it is hard, okay? And let me tell you what happened. So I'm just sitting at the bar with my buddies, just having a fun time, and in walks some men who were attractive. One in particular, I was like, wow, he's very handsome. So I'm chatting with my friends who are all male in this conversation. I'm like, what do I do? Because I don't really approach men ever, but I also don't ever get approached. So anyway, I'm thinking to myself, how bad could it be? So they suggest I send him a drink. And I'm like, brilliant. Oh my gosh, I've never done that before. That's so smart. So I sent him his drink of choice, which was a Corona with lime. Whatever, should have known. Anyway, so some time goes by, and he has not acknowledged that I've sent this drink. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just go over there. I walk up and I say, hey, how's your beer? You know, I like bat my eyelashes, you know. And he looks at me and he goes, oh, you sent this? Yeah, I did. It was me. And then he said nothing. 0 words exchanged. And you know that gif of Britney Spears where she's like holding her purse and she's just standing there looking around like this? That was me in real life. And we just stared at each other. And I said, okay, enjoy your night. And then I had to turn around and march my way back to my little bar stool, just wrapped in rejection. And now I have to think about that for the rest of my life. So, gentlemen, I'm sorry. That sucked.
When a man tells you that somebody may not be your friend or somebody may not really like you, majority of the time, they're actually right, okay? Don't dismiss it. Hold on. I'll give you 2 reasons why. Number 1, men are socialized from a very young age to trust their instincts, okay? They're more socialized to learn about things like loyalty and all of that stuff. Whereas we as women are socialized to disregard our internal alarm system, our intuition. We're socialized to play nice and ignore red flags, okay? So a lot of the times men are seeing a lot of things that we've been conditioned to tolerate. Number 2, bad spirits. Evil spirits can't see evil spirits. I'm just kidding.
Dating isn't evolving into something new. It's decaying from something that functioned. Evolution implies improvement. What's happening is structural erosion of the basic capacity to seek, find, and maintain even a baseline stable connection. That's not a cultural shift. That's institutional collapse at the individual level.
Some of y'all women gonna get mad at me today, so if you can't take constructive criticism, baby, keep on scrolling. Many of you women are not really what you think you're cracked up to be. Like, some of y'all are really not great people to be in relationships with. Y'all know I work with couples every single day, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a list of everything that I have to work through. First things first, quit coming into relationships trying to make a man secure your insecurities. That's your job. If you lack confidence, if you have low self-esteem, if there's still trauma that you're operating in, if you're self-critical, if you're judgmental when it comes to yourself, if you blame yourself, if you're still operating in guilt and trauma and everything else, baby, that's for you to handle, not him. Respect his space. Like, stop becoming so preoccupied and hyper aware of what a man has going on. As soon as you see his mood is off a little bit, you start becoming overwhelming. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Let me tell you how men are. A lot of men, when they are going through stuff, they may end up withdrawing or retreating because they're trying to figure it out. They're not always upset at you. Their moods are not changing just because of you. People go through things in a way that men are. They don't express themselves as much as we do as women. It's okay. Give that man some space. Oh yeah, the clinginess. Clinginess is cute to an extent, baby, but once you become codependent and you're always getting jealous whenever this person goes out, and you become anxious whenever they're not around you, you start blowing up their phones or they gonna hang out with their friends, that is problematic and you're gonna push them away. As much as many of you all don't want to believe it, it's absolutely okay for a man to admire another woman. As long as it is a quick look, boom, and he's not staring and he doesn't have a wandering eye and he's not impulsive and he's not a cheater. If he's all of those, baby, why are you with him in the first place? You're ignoring the red flags. You're settling. As long as that man is not window shopping or ordering off of the menu, relax. He has a visual appetite. If he sees a beautiful woman, it's okay to admire. Just like if you see a handsome man, you're going to admire him too. Relax. Stop letting yourself go. Just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean that you need to stop doing everything that you did in the beginning. If you always kept your skin together, your nails together, your lashes together, your hair done, your body was waxed up at the beginning, keep that same energy. Hold your end of the relationship. Remember, visual. A man still has a visual appetite and he loves what he sees, baby, because you're going to stimulate a whole lot more in him. Don't let yourself go because you secured the relationship. As much as you want to believe it, you're not always right. As much as you want to always be in control, you have to let some things go, baby. You cannot love a man the way you want to love him.
I genuinely feel like men don't realize how far they can get with, be ready by 7 o'clock on Friday, I made dinner reservations and I want you to wear a dress, we'll get them. It shows us that you're assertive and that you know how to make a plan. Don't ask us what we want to do, just tell us.
Fulfill one expectation. Watch the next materialize before the first is fully acknowledged. The goalposts don't move by accident. They move because a fixed target would eventually be reachable, and a reachable target closes the leverage gap. Men who identified the mechanism and stopped running have simply stopped funding a system designed to never pay out.
Hi, I'm in a shitty mood because I'm a 30-year-old trying to date, and it's just painful. Did you eat something? Fucker. I'm feeling rather annoyed right now, and whenever I feel annoyed, I feel like I need to pop off on something, and that something is usually TikTok, so I feel like when it comes to dating, I've been very chill and calm when it comes to my old, set of standards that I held for myself. I'm like, okay, I need, what the fuck? I need, really high standards. I have high standards. And I do. But I feel like with dating, I've kind of, realized to calm down a little bit in certain areas where I've been so high and mighty and tight with, certain things that you need to have. And I've, been relaxed on that. And I'm still just, not seeing or, feeling how I feel like I'm supposed to be feeling. And it's just, kind of upsetting because I'm like, okay, not that I'm lowering my standards. I just feel like I'm opening up a little bit more and growing up, realizing that maybe certain things that I used to think were negatives are actually positives. And I don't know how to navigate it. I'm in this weird limbo of trying to grow, trying to learn. And you know when you make excuses for someone in your head and then you kind of calm yourself down and then you're like, do I need to be making those excuses? I'm just feeling defeated because it's really hard to start over time and time again. And again, when open yourself emotionally up to dating, I don't know.
Here's a lovely little PSA that nobody asked for.
Oh boy, buckle up, kids. This one's about to get real.
You wonder why the divorce rate's so high? You wonder why there's so many women in their 20s, 30s, 40s that are not in relationships or not getting married just because they plain don't want to? Or why there's so many single moms in the world right now? It's very easy, very simple. Women are not accepting the bare minimum.
Oh, I see. Funny thing is, neither are men, and that's why we're walking away in droves. So, what's any different between men and women in this?
Let me say that again. Women are not accepting the bare minimum anymore.
We heard you, and guess what? Neither are men.
If you want to be a partner, please be a partner. If you want to be in a relationship, please give benefit.
Okay, we actually agree on this point. You should be getting benefit from your partner. So why don't you tell us a few of the benefits that you're going to provide?
To someone, I can pay my own bills, I can make my own food, I can raise my own kids.
Okay, guess what? We can do all those things too.
I understand that you're tired at the end of the workday, but so am I. But guess what? Someone has to do the laundry, someone has to make dinner, someone has to watch the kids.
And someone has to mow the lawn, someone has to fix the car, someone has to... I could list a whole bunch of things that men do that really women don't count as doing chores, because it's not something they value. And the funny thing is, even when we do all those things, you discount it because, well, it's not done the way you would do it.
If you're not going to do that with someone, then just don't do it.
Okay, we hear you. That's why we're walking away.
Because we can do it all ourselves.
And so can we.
And we have a lot less socks to turn right side in the laundry.
Well, you know, you got me there. I stand corrected. You see, I thought the things that women valued were love, respect, taking care of one another. Nope, I was wrong. You've enlightened me. It really comes down to one thing. The only thing that matters to women is whether the socks are turned in the right way. And people wonder why gentlemen are just plain done.
The structural imbalances are documented and consistent. Educational access, divorce court outcomes, custody bias, DI prioritization. Men who resent the system aren't being paranoid. They're reading the outputs accurately and responding to what the data actually shows rather than what the narrative claims.
How often will you hear a girl be like, I like sex just as much as a man? And it's like,
oh, I hear them
like,
say it all the
no,
time.
you don't.
You hear them say it all the time.
Because it's a poison inside of us that we can't stop.
You hear them say it all the time, and then you also hear those same women when they're away from other women saying, yeah, this whole thing's very unsatisfying.
Yeah.
I found this very unsatisfying. And again, I think that women should embrace that. And I think that if women held men to a standard, men would rise to that standard. I think that men will do almost anything for the opportunity to have sex.
Yeah.
And I really, on what Chris Williamson calls good boy points, which is not even just sex, like just to have the affection, attention, and praise of women, men will walk through fire literally. Women will walk into gunfire literally, because women have this superpower over men. And it doesn't have to be, by the way, a dark power, like the dark feminine. It doesn't
energy.
have to be that. Like, it can just be that women recognize their value and worth. And that part of the self-esteem curriculum is good. I mean, I have a real problem with the current zeitgeist. Like I was watching Temptation Island the other night, and I only have one episode left. I'm just saving it. You know? And as I'm watching, I was thinking to myself, you know, both the men and the women on this show are what happens when you have way too much of a self-esteem curriculum from way too early of an age, and you don't esteem anything other than the self.
Interesting.
Like, you have a lot of self-esteem, but what else do you esteem but the self? Like, what else is important to you? The broader society? Most of these people are not particularly patriotic. You know, your faith community? Not really.
No
they
way.
consider religion sort of like they all are wearing crosses and things, but like, I don't really think these are church-going people.
Yeah.
Like, so the truth is, like, they esteem themselves, and they have tremendous self-esteem to the point where it's excluding everything else, because the only thing they esteem is themselves. How do you expect those people to have fulfilling relationships?
Work requires numbing the parts of yourself that want something different. Men who completed that process and emerged on the other side with discipline, routine, and a quiet evening to themselves aren't missing the chaos. They've earned the stillness, and they know exactly what it cost them to get there.
I understand why a lot of guys want to quit. They say it's not worth it anymore. They say they'd rather just give up. Because sure, you know, the current terms and conditions of modern dating are bizarre, to say the least. They suck. They definitely do. But if you ever want to make a change, you got to get really good at the game you're playing. You can't give up. You can't sit out. That's not the way it works. You got to rise to the top of the game, and once you're at the top, you can make changes. You know, you can choose to sit it out, but I think you should try to compete at a high level. I think that's always the best way to go. But yeah, I understand why a lot of guys want to sit it out. You know, it shouldn't have to be that way. When you're young and you're 18 years old and you just want to have a girl to love, get married, start a family with, you know, live in your small apartment while you're both working, grinding it out, you and her, broke as a joke, madly in love, you get married, she gets pregnant, you bust your ass, you get a promotion, you buy a house, the American dream. That's what people want, but that's not the current landscape for most people. You know, a good 90% of people aren't following that blueprint. So it's hard work, it's tough. It's not something that you can have a warm feeling about. You know, it doesn't give you a wholesome, good feeling. The modern dating game, it's corrupt, it's evil, too many games.
Third of men, 33%, a little over a third of men between the ages of 18 and 29 are not only single, but they're not actively looking for a partner. So I've got a question for the men. My comments are filled with guys saying we're done. We're not looking, we like our peace. I need some more talk from you guys. Tell me why you're done.
You know, I'm seeing more and more of these videos, and honestly, it makes me sad because guys have told women why. We've made it very clear why we're walking away. And we're walking away in droves, and it's only going to get worse because you're not hearing why we're walking away. It's very simple. Don't read between the lines. Hear these words. There is absolutely no benefit anymore to being in a relationship with a woman for a man. None. Zero. Zilch. Especially when you consider the risk compared to any potential reward. Roughly 55% of marriages end in divorce and the guy loses everything. Add into it all the relationships where they weren't married and the guy lost access to his kids and had to pay mountains of child support and so on. When you really look at it, there's less than a 1 in 4 chance of having a successful relationship. Would you risk?
Hobbies deliver consistent returns on investment, skill development, genuine satisfaction. No drama, no moving goalposts. The comparison to relationship experiences isn't cynicism. It's an honest performance review where one option keeps outscoring the other. Men who redirected their investment accordingly aren't broken. They're optimizing.
Any man to try to be in a relationship with a woman to where he's not solidified on his own first. It was no reason why the young man that I was dealing with at the time should have moved out on his own with a woman where he did not have certain things in alignment and in order, right? You need to have your finances together as a man. You need to have your foundation set for yourself as a man. You need to be building upon your purpose as a man. Like, you need to focus on you first. This is why I'm a strong advocate for men putting themselves first, because when you put yourself first as a man, everything else is going to follow suit. Had that young man put himself first and say, you know what? Let me go ahead, let me establish this, and then I can, have a strong foundation to build upon, with anybody else.
Men are fucking done. And at the same time, women at home are saying, where are all the good men? All the good men were ruined by plenty of women. They had money taken from them. They had their finances fucking crumble because of some women. They had their children taken away from them. They lost jobs. They tried to give and give and give all the fucking time. And all these women did was belittle them, disrespect them, mental abuse, physical abuse. There is so much abuse involved now that the good men are fucking done. They're not going to sit there and listen to the BS no more. They're not going to sit there and keep being disrespected. A man wants one thing in a relationship more than he ever wants love, and that's respect. And if you can't provide him with that, move the fuck over.
Every measurable advantage in the dating market, looks, income, height, and the mere thought of engaging still produces exhaustion before the first conversation. When the cost of entry is fatigue and the associated expenses and penalties exceed raising an actual child, the return on investment calculation collapses completely. Tiredness isn't a weakness. It's accurate pricing.
I don't think that men desire us women anymore, us real women. I don't think that they value us like they used to. Men aren't really putting out effort. They're not putting out any type of effort like they used to. Taking a girl on a date becomes an issue. Spending money on a woman is an issue. You should have your own money as a woman. Going out to do something fun is an issue. Why don't you just come over to the house and we could do something in the house? I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm from New York, but I see women all over the globe complain about what's happening with men nowadays. Is it women that's not making themselves desirable anymore? Because there are beautiful women out here, beautiful women, ambitious women, caring women, nurturing women who are outside looking for love, and men that just can't keep up with that. Like, they're not communicating with them. They're not willing to hang out and do fun things. What happens to the fun in life? What happened to life being exciting and fun and, you know, going out and discovering the world?
Time, money, and freedom, all retained, none negotiated away on unfavorable terms. The calculus is simple, and the conclusion is clean. Single male life delivers a known, manageable output. The alternative offers uncertain returns against guaranteed costs. For a growing number of men, that comparison resolves the same way every time.
I think society as a whole, has really damaged a lot of men emotionally.
I think so too.
And because they want us to be masculine, but they don't want us to have toxic masculinity. And then the definition of toxic masculinity swish-swashes all the way around. And then the general consensus of so many is just like, a man being a man is toxic.
Yeah.
So they emasculate a lot of men, and then men already feel invisible as we get older.
Mm-hmm.
Because girls are so, I forget who I had this conversation with. Was it Handsome Homebuyer? That was my boy. Yeah, Handsome Homebuyer. He was on the podcast a while ago. And we had this conversation. He didn't feel the same way as I do, but I feel like from speaking to men, from seeing the interactions online with men, you could get an average girl from the middle of Nebraska.
Yeah.
And once she back in the day, she would get the attention from everybody in Nebraska.
Yeah.
But now, because of social media and all this, she now has access to the top 1% of men around the entire globe. And they find her attractive, or they find a quality about her that they like, and they'll fly her out. And now that ruins that girl.
Yeah.
And it also makes the 99% of other men look like shit.
Yes.
And then when it's consistently broadcasted on all social channels,
yep.
Look what this guy did for me, flew me out here, blah, blah, blah. You see the girls that are single going courtside. You know, there was a girl that I was very interested for a little while, like a year or so ago. Courtside all the time. You see her courtside. As a man, you start going,
what is she doing?
Yeah, who's paying that?
Yeah, who's paying?
Because I'm sure she can afford it. She had a nice job, but courtside multiple times a month? Which athlete she fucking?
Yeah.
Like, that's where you start to think.
That's where your brain goes.
So we go back to kind of just like men as a whole. Women are constantly noticed.
Yes. Yes.
Whether for the right reason or the wrong reason doesn't
yes.
matter.
Yep.
They're constantly noticed.
And we're constantly attention seeking too. We'll say
and especially social media, attention seeking. I showed my mom a girl on, like, this Spanish girl online. It was just, but she looks like a white Spanish girl.
Okay.
I just showed my mom. I was like, who wouldn't even think she's Spanish? And my mom's like, oh, she's beautiful. I was like, yeah, she is.
Yeah.
And I showed her another video, and she just goes, oh, another one of these. Everything's a selfie. Everything's the fucking the fit check. Like
Default male blame regardless of circumstances, combined with watching objectively more attractive and successful men fail to keep relationships stable. That's the data set men are working from. The peace made with potentially remaining single isn't defeat. It's an honest risk assessment that produced a livable answer. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, the alternative was already survivable.
Thing to do with it. And men are smarter than that.
All right, I'm going to be brutally honest right now. The reason modern dating is so bad right now is because of men. Men simping over these women. Look, I'm not talking about the guys who just treat their women really well. I'm talking about the guys who are giving their time, energy, effort, money, resources, giving validation to these girls who don't fucking deserve it, who are doing nothing to earn it, but she's a pretty face, and it makes you feel good because you have a little bit of access to a pretty girl. So you can tell all your friends, like, yeah, we talk all the time, but yet she's going and screwing somebody else. And then a guy comes along and actually requires something out of her, requires her to put in effort. And what does she do? She runs. Why shouldn't she? She already has 10 dudes simping over her, waiting to buy her nails, begging her to wine and dine her. 100 messages on that selfie she posted. And you're right there with them. Stop being a number. Be different. You don't give free validation to somebody who doesn't earn it. Give your fucking time and energy and effort into somebody who's going to match it. Simple as that.
The mirror without makeup is the most honest starting point available. Match your expectations to your actual market position rather than your aspirational one, and the dating experience immediately becomes more functional. Chasing an 8 while presenting as a 4 is a strategy that produces consistent rejection and then gets blamed on the 8. The math was never complicated. So, why are more men quitting dating and marriage? If these clips point to one conclusion, it's this. Many men believe singlehood offers more predictable rewards with fewer financial, emotional, and personal costs. That doesn't mean every relationship works this way, but when independence provides peace and stability, commitment has to offer genuine value to compete. The real question isn't why men are walking away. It's whether the terms of modern relationships will ever give them a reason to come back. Thanks for watching MGTOW Voice. Show us your love by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Support us and help spread awareness for men around the world. We welcome a healthy debate and discussion, so feel free to comment and share your thoughts.